Okay, happy Sunday evening. Today is March 22nd, Sunday. And I, like most of you, have been at home this weekend and learning to do all sorts of new things and entertain my children in all kinds of different ways. This week, you may have seen us post a family resource page and a PowerPoint that has some information about resources available to you and your family in our community, as well as some links to some educational resources that will help you keep your children engaged while you're at home. So this Facebook Live today is designed to share some more information about Pinecrest. So as families jump on, if you have questions, please type those questions in the question box and I'll be happy to answer those. Going to start out with talking about our uniforms at Pinecrest. So this is a topic that people ask about quite often. They want to know what is the situation with uniforms? What kind of uniforms do the kids wear? What colors? And things like that. So I don't think I'm sharing my screen, and I am still trying to learn how to navigate all of the pieces of Facebook Live here. But just basically, our school colors are navy and gold, and so our uniform shirt, so students will wear a polo shirt that will be either navy, gold, white, or gray, and it will have the Pinecrest emblem embroidered on it. And so I'm currently working with getting quotes from a couple of different providers, and what we will have is one company that provides all of our uniforms, our shirts, skirts, pants, socks, tights, belts, all of those things. So it's, as a parent, it's awesome, I think, to have a one-stop shop for your kids' school clothes. So we're working with a couple of different providers in the community right now to get some quotes, and then we will, in the coming weeks, be unveiling that online store. Students can also wear navy, tan, or for the girls, skirts and jumpers are Pinecrest plaid, pants, shorts, and then for the girls, there's the jumpers that come in plaid as well. So those are like the little one-piece dresses that zip up and go over the polo shirt. So students will wear gray or white or black or navy socks. Tights, it's the same thing, and then students can wear closed-toed shoes that are appropriate for playground and sports and things like that. So we'll also have jackets, hoodies, cardigans, and sweaters available in navy, gold, white, and gray, and then we will have a whole selection of spirit wear that will range from hoodies to spirit wear shirts, pullovers, and kind of everything in between. So our students will also wear a Pinecrest PE short and shirt for PE. So that will be awesome. And then we'll have spirit days on our data days, and we'll have blue jeans on Friday. And so students will be able to purchase and utilize that spirit wear to wear with jeans or their Pinecrest shirt to wear with jeans on Fridays. So let me look over here. Hi, Jen. Yes, uniforms are the best. I love my students right now at our sister school, Doral Academy. My children wear uniforms, and I have to say it makes getting ready in the morning very easy. There's a very limited range of what they can wear, and then also it saves those play clothes and those other clothes for the off times when you're not at school. So uniforms tend to have a certain level of wear and tear so that they are a little bit more durable. And the polo shirts that I bought for my oldest child are now on my third oldest child. So they've gone through a few different kiddos, which is great because it's sort of an investment up front, but it pays off down the road. So hi, Heather. So Heather is asking if the lotteries will be on the same date as planned with everything going on. So good question, Heather. So yes, right now our open enrollment is through April 12th, and then we'll have income verification and run the lottery on April 15th. So yes, as of right now, everything is progressing as planned. I just was able to get some aerial drone footage from some of our incoming staff members, and the second story of the school is going up, and it looks amazing. So I will get that posted on our YouTube channel. Hi, Danny. Hello, everybody. And we also posted notes from the faculty and those home resources this last week. So Mrs. Boyer, who just jumped on here, made a video about designing thaumatrope and how to make that, and my kids had fun doing that as well. So we will keep those coming. Okay, so the other topic that I wanted to look at a little bit today was the handbook and some of the questions that typically come up with the parent-student handbook. So if you have questions related to that, feel free to post those. Otherwise, I'm just going to go kind of a 50,000-foot view. One of the questions that parents ask about is volunteer hours and if they are required at Pinecrest. So no, volunteer hours are not required, but we do encourage volunteering as a way to help bridge that gap and to facilitate communication between home and school, and to give our parents and our and some access to school, and to be able to come help out and help the teachers. So there's lots of ways that that can happen. So everything from helping with clerical tasks for teachers, like making copies and laminating and doing things like that. And beyond that is working in the classroom alongside students, and helping with everything from PTO, helping the administration, helping in all kinds of ways. So not required, but yes, encouraged to help foster and build community on our campus. So very good question. So yes, and we will have 4 choices of colors for the polo shirt. So that's awesome. My kids are really excited about that too. Just kind of go with what goes best with your mood and whatever else you choose to wear. So, okay, so Cameron is asking how Pinecrest will use distance or online learning for school closures, asking more for snow days, but also for other closures. And so thank you for asking that question, Cameron. So we, right now at our sister school, Doral, what we've been able to do is turn our entire educational platform into a virtual platform using not just the Google Meet format, but a lot of the features of Google Classroom, and we are continuing those efforts. And so a lot of our curriculum has that blended learning component. So for many of our curriculum resources, students will have access to the curriculum, not just the content, but some of the ongoing assessment to utilize not just in the classroom, but at home. So in the event that that can be assigned as homework, but in the event of a school closure, a snow day, that is a way that students access content from home and remotely. And another aspect of that, and something that's been very valuable for our community at Doral, is using this type of platform that I'm engaging with you right now to facilitate that communication with families at home, and also continue to build relationships and have that connection even when students are away from campus. I have seen and continue to see how meaningful it is for families and for students and teachers, and for students to be able to interact with each other. And so we will definitely have those same platforms and those same systems in place, and utilize those so that our students don't miss a beat when it comes to learning. It's just continuing, picking up right where we left off and moving forward and embracing everything that comes, and using those digital tools to help continue the process of learning even through a different setting. So yeah, Joanne, hi Joanne. So yeah, Joanne is one of our teachers at our sister school at Doral Academy, and yes, the platform has been so successful and has just been fantastic having to facilitate those relationships, and just help the kids can come with questions. It just brightens their day so much to see their teacher and engage a couple of times a day with their teacher and with their classmates. So yes, we will have that same blended format, and a format that the students are used to using, so that there's not too much of a challenge when those changes and those shifts come in the day-to-day routine. So yes, thank you, good question. Some of the other things I wanted to update everybody on is that our calendar was approved last week, or the week before, sorry, everything's kind of blending together these last 2 weeks. So our calendar's approved. I'll get that posted for you all this week. Our start and end times for middle school are going to be a start time of 8:15 and a dismissal time of 2:45. And for our elementary school, grades K through 4, will be a start time of 9 o'clock and a dismissal time of 3:30. So those will get posted as well. And as soon as I have our uniform provider committed and have all that worked out, I'll get that posted as well, so that after our April 15th lottery and families are ready to start moving forward with purchasing uniforms and starting those collections, we'll have that up and ready to go. So Terry asks if we will follow the WCSD school calendar. So our calendar is a little bit different. We start on August 24th of this next year. We will have the same fall break, we'll have the same winter break, and we will have only 1 week of spring break. We do not have early release Wednesdays, but we have one Friday a month that's either a full day or a half day for what we call data days or professional development days for our teachers. So we try to be as close to the district calendar as possible for those couple of weeks leading up to when school starts in the summer. We will send out more information about our partnership with the Boys and Girls Club and those camp opportunities for students when Washoe schools go back before Pinecrest starts, so that's an option for families who need some camp care in that interim time. So yeah, so Melissa has a question about the playground. So we have, I'm glad you asked that, because it's right now thinking about being outdoors and being at school is really fun. So our campus is designed with 2 outdoor play spaces, and one is dedicated to the kindergarten classes that has equipment that's a little bit smaller. It's structured and laid out a little bit differently. And then we have a larger field and play space for the kids in grades 1 through 7 now, and 1 through 8 the following year. Keep in mind that we don't have students across all of the grade levels having recess at the same time, but they use the same space. So first grade, for example, wouldn't have recess at the same time as 7th grade. However, our students in middle school will still have that opportunity to use the playground equipment and use the field and the basketball courts and all of that. And that's one of the benefits of having a K-8 environment, is having that capacity to do the things that kids do in elementary school, like have a playground and play and get to be a kid, while at the same time having opportunities to be leaders and to work with the younger students in different ways. Okay, so I love the questions. Thank you so much. So we are offering free and reduced lunch this year. So students have options. So if your student is usually uses free or reduced lunch at school, we will have that same program available. If you prefer to send cold lunch, we also will have the capacity to have the lunch boxes there and have students access their lunch box for lunch every day. One question that kind of stems off of that people ask about is the question of those who have food allergies, and so we will have tables reserved in the cafeteria space that are allergy-friendly tables. And we will not have nuts or seeds in the classrooms. However, those will be permissible at lunchtime. Students who bring nuts or seeds in their lunch, though, just wouldn't sit at the allergy-friendly table. So I hope that answers your question, Melissa. So you can bring lunch, or you can get lunch at school through the hot lunch program. All right, so hi Stephanie, me too. Antonio is asking if kindergarten will be a full day. And so yes, kindergarten will not start August 24th. So kindergarten will start the following week, which is off the top of my head, I think it's September 1st without looking at the calendar. So that first week when grades 1 through 7 start school is a time that we do Brigance screening for our kindergarten students. So kindergarten students won't start until the following week. Our kindergarten teachers are working on some really fun, engaging team building activities for our kindergarten students over the summer and leading up to when school starts. So I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a great way to help start building those relationships with parents and giving our students an opportunity to meet each other. But they won't start that first week. Kindergarten students will start the second week, and then yes, they will be full day. So they will come to school for a 9 o'clock start time and have a 3:30 dismissal. All right. Yeah, so about our school library space. So what we will do, especially this first year, is we will have a literacy space. So I believe as a personal approach to education and to literacy, that students having access to print material is really important. And part of what that'll look like this first year is having literacy spaces on campus that look kind of like more book nook type spaces, where there's a place for students to browse through different levels of reading materials and then have some space to spend some time reading. So it'll look a little bit different than a traditional full-on stocked library with a checkout system. It's more of an honor system, and we will collect books through donations. I already have lots of families that have reached out and said, I have, my whole scholastic library my students now graduated out of, and yes, we will gladly take those once school gets started and in helping shape our literacy spaces. So that will be fantastic. We also have a great relationship with the library in Spanish Springs, and the librarians over there have been so enthusiastic about partnering with us and providing opportunities not just for them to come to our school and register kids and help them get their library cards, but we've also been talking about how we can help bridge that gap and utilize that community resource in the Spanish Springs Library to give our students access to more printed word. And so we will continue to explore that relationship and some of the aspects of how that will play out so that our kids have access to books. So Melissa, there's also an opportunity to purchase. So if your student doesn't qualify for free and reduced lunch, they can purchase a meal. And that's the way that it works is that we have a menu for the month with a different item on each day of the menu, and then you would pre-order the food for the month and choose, kind of highlight which days. For my personal children, it usually depends on some of their favorite meals, like they really like chicken nugget day or they like pizza day. And so we purchase those meals. But so that's always an option as well. So, hey, Ashlyn. So Crystal asked if fifth grade is considered middle school. So fifth grade is really a transition year. So in some ways, fifth grade is part of elementary school. But in some ways, fifth grade is part of middle school. So they have the same start and end time as our middle school. And they will have some elective classes, but they will have a cohesive group of students. So those students that are in their homeroom class are the group of students that they do their classes with. So my approach to fifth grade, it's really a transition year. So students need some of that consistency that comes with having their core group of students, but they also need to start looking at what it means to move classes and be organized and work through their schedule and plan things and be responsible for their homework in a different way. So to answer your question, it's a transition year. So in some ways it's part of middle school, in some ways it looks more like elementary school, and that's intentional. It's because we want our fifth graders to start tasting what it's going to be like to be a middle schooler and get more comfortable with what that looks like, so that when they go to sixth grade, they are ready to go. Okay, hi Melanie. So on April 15th is when acceptances will go out for the 2021 school year. So when you filled out the enrollment form, you should have seen a box that you checked that said put in your phone number for a text message, because that's the format that you'll get notification that your student was accepted, and it'll give you a link to next steps in terms of what to do to process your enrollment. Yes, and then if your student has an IEP and is coming over to Pinecrest, you will send those documents. We will request those documents from the school that they were previously at, if it was within the state of Nevada. If it was out of state, sometimes parents can help facilitate getting those documents over to us. But yes, our team will meet. We're hoping to have some meet and greets between the special education teachers and the general classroom teachers and parents ahead of school starting. So that will be in early August. And the team, that won't be a formal IEP meeting, but those meet and greet meetings will be a place that the members of the team can come together, talk about what works, what accommodations the student is used to having in the classroom, what kind of other services that they need, and we'll have a really holistic picture of what needs to be in place for the student before school starts. And then we will roll right into their timeline for annual review or reevaluation, and all of those things. So in addition to that, all of those services that students might receive elsewhere, like speech therapy or occupational therapy, and there's some other services, but we will have teachers that provide all of those same services for Pinecrest students. So all of that as well. So Tina was asking about for teachers. So because we're our own entity, our budget and the way that we allocate funding for teaching physicians doesn't align necessarily or specifically with Washoe County School District. However, it's always my goal to make sure that teachers are compensated for their education and experience. So it's not exactly the same matrix, but that's sort of a guide that I use in looking at teacher salary and things like that. Okay, so I'm sorry, Crystal. Oh, sixth. So I explained for fifth grade, and so Crystal said, so sixth grade will be more the middle school model. I might have answered that question for you, Crystal, in my explanation. So yes, students will rotate classes. They'll have different teachers for each of their core subjects and for their elective classes, and have different students in each class. So hi, Danielle. Crystal's asking if there's going to be an orientation open house before school starts. So yes, we are getting really creative this summer with some meet and greet opportunities, not just for each grade level, but also for elementary school and for middle school. So we will do activities and team building meet and greet type of activities this summer so that families can get to know each other. We can share out information about the school, and we can help set up some of those routines and processes that need to be in place ahead of school starting. So as far as touring the school before school starts, it's going to be dependent on our construction timeline. So the school, as you know, is under construction right now, and so the school will be built, and then we'll move in and school will start. So it's kind of a tighter timeline. So just depending on when everything is ready to roll in the fall is when we will bring everybody in. What will likely happen is that a week or two after school starts is when we'll do our formal open house and orientation, that sort of meet the teacher night. So that'll likely be after school starts this year because of how our construction timeline is laid out. All right, so Danny is asking about documents that you might need to have ready, and how many days do you have to submit those after you find out if your student gets a seat. So ahead of the lottery, for students who qualify for free and reduced lunch, you should have or will receive an income verification or that FRL form because of the weighted lottery. So students have access to the weighted lottery for enrollment. After the lottery's run, there's the proof of address. There's a number of documents that you'll see on your enrollment form. So there's proof of address, there's immunization records, birth certificate, parent ID card, I'm trying to think all of them, and then there's our entire registration packet. And so all of those items, and if you are what might be a really good thing to do right now when you have some downtime at home is to start gathering those documents. So I would be happy to post just a little piece about, hey, while you're thinking about enrollment, these are the things you can start collecting. So I can absolutely do that. And Danny, can you please remind me about that, because we can talk about that this week and get that taken care of. I think that would be really helpful. Cameron wants to know if our staff members are part of the PERS retirement system, and yes, they are. So we, as a public school, we are funded through public funds, and that means that our teachers are part of the public employees retirement system. So that's really great for teachers that are coming over from other districts, because there's not that need or that worry of having to leave the PERS system. So okay, in terms of class times, so I'm wondering, is that, Rachel, is your question for middle school or for the elementary school grades? for time during class, I'm happy to clarify that. So Rachel's question is, what is the plan for class times? So our students in elementary school will start school at 9 o'clock. They'll have morning meeting, they'll have time with their teacher in the morning, and then they'll have an outline of their day that encompasses all of their different curriculum blocks, so their math, their ELA, reading, writing, and then their science, social studies, and then they'll have a built-in time for their enrichment classes, or what we call the special classes. So the students will go to the computer lab, they'll have PE class, they'll have music class, they'll have art class, and they'll have one more elective class throughout the day. So that 45 to 50-minute block is the time that the teachers get together and work on their team planning and collaboration and things like that. Okay, so the start and end times for elementary school, thank you for clarifying, Rachel, are 9 o'clock for grades K through 4. They'll start school at 9 o'clock and they get out for dismissal at 3:30. And so they can come starting at 8:45 for drop-off for school to start at 9 o'clock. Okay, and hi, Christine. So that hopefully answers the question. And then for grades 5 through 7, their start time is 8:15 and their dismissal time is 2:45. All right, so a couple more things about the parent handbook and a couple frequently asked questions that are things from the handbook. One is the use of Infinite Campus. So we will use Infinite Campus for attendance and grades and all of that. It's important to note that we have a different Infinite Campus system and login than the school district. So each charter school has their own login. So if you went to like the Washoe School District Infinite Campus page and put in your Pinecrest information, it would not recognize you. So we'll continue to communicate out about that and educate our front office staff. Those are some of the questions that they ask a lot. So we'll be happy to make sure that everybody knows that, and we will communicate frequently about that, especially at the beginning, because there's sort of a learning curve, and we'll have that Infinite Campus page link right on our website so that it's easy to get to. So Tina was asking, how soon do they have to have uniforms? So as I am working right now with a couple different providers, and once we choose a provider for uniforms and the lotteries run and your students have a seat, there's going to be some special pricing from late spring through the summer. So as soon as you're ready, you can start, purchasing your uniforms and making your uniform collection. So students need to have uniforms before school starts, with the exception of any student that gets accepted like a couple days right before school starts, because they need to have a little bit of time. But for anyone accepted now, as soon as we get that nailed down and get that uniform store sent out, we'll have some special pricing and some discounts over the summer, so you can start getting all of those items lined out. Let's see. Are we still planning to work with the Boys and Girls Club for before and after school? So hi, Jennifer. Yes, we are. So the Boys and Girls Club will provide before and after school programming on the Pinecrest campus site starting on day 1 of school. So they are going to be the ones that come in. They'll utilize our space, but their staff and their resources will help to orchestrate that time for students before school and for after school. We will also be partnering with them for our shuttle transportation from downtown Sparks, in between the Sparks Library and the Larry D. Johnson Community Center. We'll have a Boys and Girls Club shuttle for pickup in the morning. And then we'll also have one in Sun Valley near the Scolari's supermarket. So for that partnership as well, for families that reside a little bit further away from school and need a little bit of help in the morning getting kids to school, we'll have those pickup and drop-off times with students routed back to the Boys and Girls Club on 9th Street in the afternoon, or being able to stay at our Pinecrest campus for after school hours And it's looking right now, the Boys and Girls Club is super responsive and working with us to make sure that the start and end times for the before and after care program meet the needs of our community. So it's looking right now like it'll be approximately 6:30 to 7 in the morning for the start, and then approximately 6 to 6:30 in the afternoon for the aftercare program. So again, we're all about meeting the needs of our community. We understand that Pinecrest being a little bit further of a drive out Pyramid Highway might mean that we need extended hours for before and after care. So we are working with them, and they are really fantastic at being receptive and responsive to what the needs of our school community are. So that is awesome. Hi, Alyssa. I'm looking forward to next year too. We will have our founding faculty Fridays. And so we are going to be having a little message and introduction from our founding faculty members coming out on our page every Friday. So we have such a passionate and inspiring group of educators and community members that are joining our school next year. I could not be more thrilled. We are fortunate to be in a position where people want to be a part of Pinecrest because it's an exciting endeavor. It's exciting to have access to a phenomenal educational experience that's really rich in meeting the needs of kids. And so we are completely thrilled. I am still hiring for next year. So if you have, or you know, particularly right now, I'm looking for a couple of more teaching positions, so in the elementary grades. If you or someone you know might be interested in coming to work at Pinecrest, I'll be working on getting some job postings out this week. But I will say we've had a very, very good pool of teacher candidates, and I'm very excited about those that'll be joining our faculty. We are truly blessed. I'm excited for my children to get to work with the teachers that we have coming on, and as well as for all of our Pinecrest students. It's going to be a fantastic year. So I am always responsive to questions. I love connecting with our families in this new virtual platform. It's sort of uncharted territory for me, but I'm embracing it, and have started the YouTube channel. If you haven't liked the YouTube channel, you can go on there and follow it so that when we post new videos, you can automatically get an update for the new videos. And then working with our web design team to facilitate those things coming over to our web page as well. So I'm trying to be more approachable and navigate this digital platform a little bit. We will have a bilingual info session next week with one of our new staff members, Natalia, who's going to be joining me to do an English-Spanish Facebook post. It's not going to be a live session for this one, so if you have questions, please send those in. Whether they're in Spanish or English, we're happy to work through answering those questions and getting that information out to our community. So grateful that you have taken some time to join me today to talk about our uniforms and some of the aspects of our handbook and our calendar. I am absolutely thrilled for our community that Pinecrest is coming. We, again, are still in open enrollment, so if you have any other families that you think might be interested in applying, please refer them to our website at pinecrestnnv.org. Right from the website, the enrollment window opens up so they can very easily apply there, or send them to ask questions at info@pinecrestnnv.org, and I'm happy to respond that way. I also respond to these messages on Facebook. Those come right to my phone, and I'm happy to respond very quickly to those as well. So thank you, and I look forward to meeting everyone in person at some point. You might know, or you might not know, but all of our in-person events for the next 30 days have been postponed. And so I am working with our team behind the scenes here to try to convert some of those opportunities to meet and engage to a virtual platform. And our founding faculty and staff have been absolutely fantastic in embracing that idea and doing what they can to help us make these connections even through these shifting times. So I hope that everyone stays well. I hope that you take some time to breathe and enjoy the time, even though it's hard. Know that we are all in this together. If you ever feel like I just need to connect and talk with someone apart from everyone in my circle, I'm happy to chat with you. We can, I have the Google Meets going on, so we could even do a video chat. I'm happy to do that as well. I think it's so important that we stay connected, and I am here to help make those connections happen. So thank you very much. Everybody have a fantastic night, and I will see you all very soon. Take care.